Hi everyone. So today we're going to go over how we can use our calculators to help us write equations from either a graph or a table, depending on what you're given. So we have gone over how to do this by hand. This was actually our first unit of writing an equation of a line by finding the slope and then finding the y-intercept and plugging it into y equals mx plus b. But the calculator does it for you, and it also does it for other types of functions. So we're going to do this for exponential functions as well. So here's our steps that we are going to use. You may want to save this somewhere, write these steps down, that way you have them, or take a picture of the steps with your phone. That way, if you ever have to do this later at some point, you have it right there with you, and you don't have to go back and find this video. So our first step is to decide if it's a linear function or exponential function, and then create an XY table. So we're going to do that with this first example here. We're going to make an XY table. So you don't need to write every single point that's on this line. You can just pick a few. So immediately I see the point 0, 3, so I'll choose that one. And then I also see the point 1, 1. I'm just picking the nice points. So, 1. Oh, come on. 1, 1. And then, let's see, another nice point is 2, negative 1. So I'm going to pick 2, negative 1. You can pick other points if you want. These are just 3 random points I chose that were nice and fell right on the grid lines. So next step is turn on my calculator. I have my calculator right here. And we're going to reset it just to clear it by clicking second plus 7, 1, 2. Not required, but it does make our lives a little easier when we start using it. And choice 4, this is new, it says to click the stat button. So the stat button is right here by the left arrow. So you're going to click that stat right next to the left arrow here. And step 5 says click edit, which is choice 1. It's already highlighted on it, so I can just hit enter. And then I see all these lists pop up: L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, and so on. These are called the lists, and this is where we're going to type our XY table into. So I'm going to type the X's into L1 and the Y's into L2. You should plug them in so that it looks just like your table does. So I have the X values 0, 1, and 2. And then I'm going to arrow over to L2. 0 goes with 3. 1 goes with 1. And then 2 goes with negative 1. So then we are going to get the equation out of this. Enter. So then, just to be aware, remember, a linear function, it goes up by the same amount each time, and it forms a nice straight line. So that's 2 reasons why this is linear. I need to know that when I do my next step here. So it says click stat again. So I'm going to click stat. Then it says arrow right to calc. So calc is up here at the top. I'm going to arrow to the right and hover over calc. And then when I choose that, I'm going to choose choice 4, lin reg, because this is a linear function. This is called linear regression. We are going to use it in one of our next units. But for now, it's going to tell us the equation of a line. So remember, you also know that y equals mx plus b. They use an a instead of m here. No real reason why, but our equation is y equals ax plus b. It's right at the top, so you don't even have to memorize it. Y equals ax plus b. And then make sure you have list L1 and L2. That's the default, so if you cleared your calculator first, it should automatically be there. And then hit enter. And we have y equals ax plus b. I wrote that there. Our a is negative 2, and our b value is positive 3. So then when I plug this into y equals ax plus b, I get y equals negative 2x plus 3. Just plug it right in. And that's all you have to do to find the equation of this line. All right, so now we are going to do this again for now an exponential function because we have this curve here. So I'm going to fill out an XY table so that I can put it in my lists. So I'm going to pick some random points here. Let's see, 0, 3 is a nice point. And then 1, 6 is a nice point. And then we have 2, 12 is a nice point. So notice that the y values here, they're not going up by the same amount each time. If this was linear, we would be adding 3 each time because we would have 3 plus 3 is 6, and then 6 plus 3, this would have to be 9 in order for it to be a linear function. But it's exponential. It's multiplying by 2 every time. We don't even need to know that, though. We just need to know it's exponential. You could always sketch a graph of this too to see if it's linear or exponential. So this time the steps are the same. I'm going to click Stat, and then I'm going to go to the edit my lists first. So make sure you're on Edit, click Enter, and you'll see that my lists are still filled in from what they were before. You need to clear these. This is super, super important. So if there's one thing you need to take away from today, it's that you do not use the delete button. When you're on your list, you cannot use the delete button. So you're going to hit clear and clear them out. So I'm going to hover over L1 and hit clear. Do not hit delete. If you hit delete, your calculator will be very messed up. Only hit clear. So I'm hovering over L1 and L2 and hitting clear, and then when I go back down, it's gone. So now I can go ahead and type my values in here. I have 0, 1, 2, and then my corresponding y values are 3, 6, and then 12. Make sure you line them up correctly. It should look just like your XY table. So now, because this is an exponential function, when I hit Stat again and go over to calculate, when you choose which one you're going to look for, you're going to look for the one that looks like exponential. So none of these, but number 0 here, it says exponential regression. So EXP stands for exponential, and you can click Enter on that one. Again, L1 and L2 for your X and Y values should automatically be there. And then we're going to hit calculate, and we get our equation here. So our equation is y equals a times b to the x. A is 3, b is 2. So then when I plug this in, y equals, instead of a, I'm putting 3, and instead of b, I'm putting 2 to the x. All right, so on to the last one. They already gave us a table instead of a graph, so we don't have to make our own table because they gave us one. But we do need to decide if this is exponential or linear. So remember, linear functions are just like your arithmetic sequences. They're going to be going up by the same value each time, the same constant value you're adding every time. While geometric sequences are like your exponential functions, it's going to be a different number being added every time because you're multiplying. So if I'm looking here, I'm going to just start at 0. So I have y is 24, and then it goes down to 12. So that would be subtracting 12. If I subtract 12 again, I would get 0, but I have 6 here. So that's how I know it's not linear, because it's going down by that constant minus 12 doesn't work. So then if you think about multiplying and dividing, I mean, since we know it's not linear, we kind of automatically know it's geometric, but or exponential. But 24 divided by 2 gets me 12. Divide by 2 again gets me 6. Divide by 2 again gets me 3. So this is exponential because the y values are being divided by 2 each time. Or you could say multiplied by 1/2 each time. So we're going to have the same y equals a times b to the x. but we are going to use a different table here. So I have to go back to my lists, L1 and L2. I'm going to click Stat and then Edit. Now again, do not click Delete. Hover up, arrow up, hover over it, and click Clear. Go back down, go to the other list, and hit Clear. So now I'm going to type in my table. I have 0, 1, 2, 3. And then for my L2s, I have 24, 12, 6, and 3. Now just double check that your XY table looks like your lists. And then again, we're going to hit Stat, go to Calculate, and we're going to pick the exponential one because this is exponential. So I'm going to click Choice 0, Exponential Regression. List 1 and List 2 are there, and hit Calculate. Ooh, we got a decimal this time. I'm going to just go back and double check my lists. So I'm going to hit Stat, and then go over to Edit my lists. So I have 0, 24, 1. Oh, see right here? I did 1 instead of 12. I forgot the 2. So I'm going to fix that. And now it looks good. So I'm going to go back to Stat, go over to Calc, and then choose Exponential Regression to get an exponential equation. There we go, that's better. So now I have A is 24, B is 0.5 or 1/2, whichever you prefer. So now when I plug this in, I get Y equals A is 24 times our B, which is 0.5, all of that raised to the X. So there is my equation. Easy way to get an equation without really doing much work. So there's 3 examples. There's going to be some in Buzz for you to try on your own. Remember, these are your steps right here. I'll copy and paste them into the Buzz assignment. That way they're there. But I really do suggest that you write these down in your notebook. You could put it right on the front cover if you want, or the back cover, or the back page, just so that it's in an easy to get to spot, because we are going to use this again pretty frequently, actually, in our statistics unit.